Maine is known for its beautiful coast and gorgeous mountains, but in between is the stunning lakes region and Sebago Lake at its heart. Join us as we explore Sebago Lake, uncovering great small towns with main streets filled with local shops, hikes, state parks, and an island only accessible by boat with a killer cafe and outdoor bar. This is Brew England, a channel dedicated to all things New England culture, adventures, and beer. Before we dive in, please take the time to like and subscribe if you enjoy content like this. Thank you. Sebago Lake is Maine's deepest and second largest lake, situated between Portland and the coast and the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains. While Maine's lakes region isn't as well known as the coast or even the mountains, they're just as breathtaking. There's a wide network of rivers and canals connecting many of the lakes, which are known for their boating culture and summer tourism. Just a 30-minute drive from Portland, this can be an easy day trip from the Maine coast or as a relaxing lakeside vacation. We actually start our trip in Portland at Sinful Kitchen, a small local diner offering dishes with big flavor. Be sure to make reservations, space is limited. We got the El Diablo omelet, which is an omelet served with ghost pepper cheese, jalapenos, and spicy sausage on the side. Great for those looking for a kick in the morning. We also got the strawberries and whipped cream waffles and a spicy Bloody Mary for good measure. After breakfast, our first destination was the historic Babb's Covered Bridge in Gorham. The bridge was built in 1976 as a replica of the original 19th century bridge that burned down in 1973. Formerly on the U.S. National Register of Historical Places, this is a popular local swimming hole with rope swings and access points to the Presumpscot River. Next up was Seacoast Adventure in Wyndham, offering Minigolf, a ropes adventure course, giant slide, go-karts, and a small water park. We paid $12 per adult for adventure golf, but there's various packages that combine attractions too. This was a fun course with some elevation and water features. Very enjoyable overall. Next is a must-stop for any beer lover. The Umbrella Factory outlet offers the largest selection of beer in Maine with over 1,000 varieties ranging from local brews to harder-to-find international beer. They also offer a host of wine and liqueur, and next door is a full-service supermarket with eclectic decor. This is a must-stop just to experience it, but also get stocked up on beverages, snacks, and if you plan on cooking, a wide array of groceries. We still had some time before we could check into our rental, so we decided to drive the 13 minutes to Bridgeton, Maine. Bridgeton is a small town of 5,000 with a nice, charming historical main street filled with restaurants and shops. We visited earlier this year to check out Pondicherry Park, which is a must visit. Check out our video on that. However, when we visited, it was Easter and much of the shops were closed, so we were excited to finally explore the town. We checked out Bridgeton Antiques, an eclectic mix of gifts and memorabilia.
Some old and worn skis.
Next door, we explored Bridgeton Books, which offer a great selection of used and new books, and I even found a copy of the fourth book in Jeff Vandermeer's Annihilation series, which I didn't even know existed. Highly recommend this book if you're into surrealist novels that make you think. Or check out the movie starring Natalie Portman. Downtown even had a Rennie's, so we had to check it out. If you're not familiar with Rennie's, well, it's a Maine adventure. Next up, we stopped at Bridgeton Treasures and Corn Shop Trading.
The last smells in there.
At this point, it was time to check into our rental, which was a small cabin outside the owner's house, with direct lake access, including a dock and access to paddleboards. It was a hot day, so we didn't waste any time jumping in. For dinner, we headed up to Naples. Naples is kind of the central area for Sebago and the Lakes region. With Long Lake on one side and Brandy Pond on the other, you're surrounded by water. There's a short main street with restaurants and bars. This is the area you want to stay in, especially on the weekend. This is also where you can rent boats, jet skis, kayaks, and there's even a historic steamship called the Seacoast River Queen II that offers lake cruises and dinners. For dinner, we headed to Captain Jack's, which also features a large marina if you're planning on traveling by boat. We ordered the steak and cheese bomb and chicken Caesar wrap. Great views all around. That night, we went to Bridgeton Twin Drive-In, one of just a handful of drive-ins left in Maine. We saw Freakier Friday 2, which cost us $18. The venue is cash only, but we were able to book and pay online. The concession stand is just a short walk away and offers everything you'd expect at a drive-in. As for the movie, it was decent enough, especially if you watch the original and are into campy humor. After the movie, we drove the 30 minutes back to our rental on Sebago Lake. For breakfast, we had our eyes set on Sebagel, but they were closed on Tuesdays, so we ended up at Annette's Diner for breakfast of homemade corned beef hash and a croissant breakfast sandwich. Everything was delicious. We highly recommend this spot for a great local breakfast. Afterwards, we stopped by Dos Espresso Bar in Naples for some iced lattes, served with a side of views. Surrounding Sebago Lake, you have the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains and lots of opportunities for short, easy hikes with decent views. We chose Mount Douglas, which features a cool stone observation tower. There are multiple trails up the mountain, but we parked at the Legends Trailhead, which is the shortest but steepest way up the mountain. The trail is only a quarter of a mile, but we gained several hundred feet in elevation. At the top, we were greeted with a massive stone inscribed with "Non sibi sed omnibus" in Latin. Please excuse my Latin pronunciation, which roughly translates into "not for ourselves, but for all." Maybe a reflection of today's day and age. There was also a stone tower that leads to an observation deck that allows you to see above treeline. At the top, we have expansive views of Sebago Lake and the surrounding hills. On a clear day, you can even see Mount Washington and the high peaks of the White Mountains, but with haze caused by wildfire smoke, our views were limited. Great hike! Despite being short, we were already working up an appetite.
Eisenhower? We can.
Next stop was Sebago Lake State Park, which offers camping, boat ramps, and a large beach. This is also where the Songo River connects Sebago Lake to Brandy Pond, Naples, and Long Lake, and is a major highway for boaters and paddlers exploring the region. A must visit is the Songo Locks, which allows boats to access both lakes despite differences in elevation. Maybe the coolest feature is the swinging bridge for vehicles. We had to stop until all the boats passed, until they closed the bridge and we can continue.
Anna.
We stop by the locks and watch the boats enter and get lowered to access Sebago Lake. Access to the state park costs $8 per person and $6 for Maine residents. There's ample parking and shower/changing rooms. This is a really cool beach. It's pretty much forested except for the water's edge, allowing you to hang out in the shade of the trees as you watch out over the water. There's also a ton of picnic tables with charcoal grills if you want to prepare a lunch or dinner right next to the lake. Overall, extremely impressed with the state park, and it's the perfect place to cool off if you don't have direct lake access. Sebago Lake has a secret at its center. A 1.3 square mile island home to up to 3,000 summertime residents who live there seasonally. There's two main ways to access the island, by private boat or you can take the car ferry. We decided to park on the mainland and take the ferry over. It costs $10 per person and $30 per car, with larger vehicles and trailers costing more. Thankfully, a super nice lady offered to take us over in their car, allowing us to skip the ferry entirely. She was a resident of the island and told us much about its history. The ferry ride is very short, maybe 15 minutes at most, with much of the time spent unloading. After getting off, we were already at our destination, Frye's Leap Cafe. Frye's Leap is a restaurant, bar, and general store. We got to sit in the gorgeous outdoor area overlooking the lake and order some cocktails. For food, we got the Mexican shrimp cocktail, served in a gazpacho, as well as the Baja fish tacos. Everything was extraordinary. The drinks, the food, the ambience, and probably the fact that it was an adventure in itself to get there. Now, if you're arriving by boat, expect there to be a wait to get a spot at the dock during peak times. There was literally a line of boats waiting to dock. Afterwards, we checked out the general store and then walked a short ways to the community garden, which was well tended and felt magical. So it's time to leave the island and we boarded the ferry. Return trips are free, so it's impossible to actually get stuck on the island. If you only get to do one thing in Sebago, this is it. For dinner, we headed back down to Windham, or maybe Sebago's closest thing to a fine dining experience. Yolked is a farm-to-table restaurant, and we ordered some wine, a poke bowl, and some fried chicken. Everything was delectable, and highly recommend if you're looking for something a little more upscale. We ended the night back in Naples, watching the sunset below Long Lake, and got some ice cream at Dairy Bar. Day 3 was our last day and we only had time to grab breakfast. Thankfully, Sebagel was actually open this time. Despite living in Maine for several years now, we're still discovering new spots right in our own backyard. We hope you found this guide useful and has inspired you for things to do on your trip. As always, comment below with any questions, and until next time. Sebagel. More like Sebagel.